Chapter 4. The Silent Veil. Hold fast, O heart, through muted skies, for songs will spark where courage lies. The road from the grove wound into a valley where the air grew heavy with the scent of damp earth and fading blooms. Liora's boots sank into the soft ground, each step a reminder of the verdant chorus's absence. The fields they'd passed were brittle now, their colors leached by the silence that had claimed the stars. Her pendant hung quiet at her neck, its warmth a fleeting memory, and doubt crept in like a shadow. Had she really woven that net of light? Or was it a fluke as fragile as the wilting grass beneath her feet? Mira walked beside her, humming a cheerful tune that felt defiant against the valley's stillness. Her lute bounced against her back, its strings catching the faint sunlight. "This place is too quiet," she said, breaking her song. "It's like the world's holding its breath." "It is," Cale said from ahead, his voice sharp. He hadn't slowed since the grove, his cloak snapping in the breeze. The Veil of Echoes used to sing with the aria of memory. Now it's a graveyard. The silencer's been through here, too. Leora's stomach twisted. The silencer's whisper lingered in her mind. "Sing, and you will break." And the fleeting glimpse of that cloaked figure haunted her. "Why are they doing this?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Silencing the stars. What do they want?" Cale's shoulders stiffened, but he didn't turn. "Doesn't matter. They're tearing Auralis apart. That's enough to know for now." Mira frowned. "That's not an answer, flute boy. If we're fighting this silencer, we deserve to know why." Cale shot her a glare. "Call me flute boy again and you'll be walking back to Vale." Mira grinned, undeterred, but Liora caught the evasion in Cale's tone. He knew more than he was saying. About the silencer, about Starweavers, maybe even about her pendant. She touched the lyre-shaped metal, its edges worn from years of her mother's hands. "What did you know, Mama?" she thought, but the pendant offered no answers. The Veil of Echoes opened before them, a basin of rolling hills dotted with crumbling starlooms, their crystals dark as coal. The air shimmered faintly, like heat rising from stone, and Leora's skin prickled. "What's that?" she asked, pointing to the haze. "Echoes," Cale said, his voice low. "The aria of memory left imprints, moments trapped in time. Without the star's song, they're unstable. Step carefully." Mira's eyes widened. "You mean ghosts?" "Not ghosts," Cale snapped. "Memories, but they can still mess with your head." Liora swallowed, her pendant giving a faint hum. The haze thickened as they descended and shapes flickered within it. A child's laughter, a woman's song, a man's shout of anger. The echoes brushed her mind, fleeting but vivid, and she saw her mother's face for a moment. Hazel eyes like hers, a smile that warmed the cold. Liora gasped, stumbling, and Mira caught her arm. "You okay?" Mira asked, her voice soft. Liora nodded, but her throat was tight. "Just saw something." Cale glanced back, his expression unreadable. "Focus. The echoes play tricks. We need to cross the veil before—" A scream tore through the air, not an echo, but real, piercing. Leora's pendant flared, and she spun toward the sound. At the veil's center, a small starloom flickered, its light stuttering like a dying flame. A girl, no older than 10, cowered beside it, her braid whipping as two nulls circled her. Their inky forms pulsed, their silence a void that made Leora's ears ring. "Move!" Cale shouted, his flute already at his lips. A dissonant note erupted, sending a shockwave that scattered one null, but the other lunged, its claws grazing the girl's arm. She cried out, clutching a small pendant. A star, not a lyre. Leora's heart pounded. She didn't think, she ran, her voice rising before she could stop it. The melody was raw, unpolished, but her pendant glowed, and threads of silver light wove a shield around the girl. The null's claws struck it, sparks flying, and Liora staggered, her song faltering. "Keep singing," Kale yelled, his flute weaving a chaotic counterpoint. His magic surged, a jagged burst that drove the second null back, but the first reformed, its eyes locked on Liora. Mira strummed her lute, a bright chord that bolstered Leora's shield. "You've got this," she called, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. Leora's throat burned, but she sang louder, her threads tightening into a net. The null thrashed, its hisses like breaking glass, and Kale's dissonance joined her harmony, a wild duet that shattered the creature into shadow. The second null fled, melting into the haze. Liora collapsed to her knees, gasping. The girl sobbed, clutching her pendant, and Liora crawled to her, her own pendant still warm. "You're safe," she whispered, her voice hoarse. "What's your name?" "Alia," the girl whimpered. I heard the stars. Then they came." Kale knelt beside them, his face grim. Another Starweaver, the silencers targeting them. He looked at Liora, his eyes hard. "She's proof. You're not just on this quest. You're a target." Liora's blood ran cold. She helped Alia stand, her mind racing. The girl's pendant, her fear. It was too familiar. Was I like her once? She wondered, glancing at her own lyre. The echo swirled, showing her mother again, singing to a starlit sky. The vision faded, but it left a spark of resolve. "We'll take her to the next village," Liora said, her voice firm. "She's not alone." Kale hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but we move fast. The silencer's close." Mira slung her lute over her shoulder, her grin returning. "See? Heroes already." As they left the Vale, Alia clinging to Leora's hand, the Starloom's light flickered out. The echoes whispered, and Leora's pendant hummed, its song a fragile thread in the silence. The Celestine spire was far, but with every step she felt it. The stars were calling, and she would answer, no matter what the silencer planned.